హాయ్ హలో వెల్కమ్ టు అవర్ ఛానల్. నేను మీ జర్నలిస్ట్ విప్లవశ్రీ. భారతదేశ వ్యాప్తంగా మహిళలందరికీ ఒకే రకమైనటువంటి ఉన్నతమైన స్థానం ఉందా అంటే లేదనే అనిపిస్తుంది కదా. ఒక్కో రాష్ట్రంలో అక్కడి పరిస్థితుల్ని బట్టి, అక్కడ సాంప్రదాయ పరంగా కానివ్వండి, సాంస్కృతిక పరంగా కానివ్వండి, రాజకీయ పరంగా, సమాజ పరంగా, సామాజికంగా అక్కడి పరిస్థితుల్ని బట్టి మహిళలు ఎట్లా ట్రీట్ చేయాలి అనేదంతా కూడా డిపెండ్ అయి ఉంటుంది. మరి నార్త్ ఈస్ట్ స్టేట్స్లో అసలు మహిళల పరిస్థితి ఎట్లా ఉంది? కొంతమంది మహిళలందరూ కలిసి తల్లులకి సంబంధించి ఒక సమూహంగా, ఒక సమాజంగా ఏర్పడితే వాళ్ళు ఏం సాధించదలిచారు? ఇవన్నీ అంశాలు చాలా ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ అనిపిస్తాయి. అసలు మహిళలు, అందులోనూ తల్లులే ఒక గ్రూప్గా అసోసియేట్ అయ్యి వాళ్ళు ఒక ఉద్యమం కోసం, ఒక కాజ్ కోసం ఫైట్ చేస్తున్నారు, వర్క్ చేస్తున్నారు అంటేనే అది ఎంతో ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్తో కూడుకున్నటువంటి అంశమే కాకుండా చాలా సెన్సిటివ్ అంశం కూడా. మరి ఈ విషయంలో నాగాలాండ్కి సంబంధించి ప్రొఫెసర్ రోజ్మెరీ గారు మనతో ఉన్నారు. తనతో మాట్లాడి అసలు అక్కడ నార్త్ ఈస్ట్ స్టేట్స్లో జరుగుతున్నటువంటి మహిళలకి సంబంధించినటువంటి మూమెంట్స్ ఎట్లా ఉన్నాయి, అసలు వాళ్ళ ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం ఏంటి అన్న తెలుసుకుందాం. హలో మ్యామ్, I'm so happy to see you here. First of all, what is the main aim of having Naga's Mother Association?
The Naga Mothers Association is around 41 years old now. It is a collective of mothers, and it began when we had a lot of social problems like alcoholism, drug addiction, and so to deal with these social problems, mothers from different tribes of the Nagas came together to form this organization. So from battling with social evils, the Naga Mothers Association moved into peacekeeping, and so they are more known as peacekeepers, peacemakers of the Naga conflict, and also with neighboring states with their conflict. Naga mothers have played a big role, and the Naga mothers actually also started the first community HIV/AIDS hospice. Okay. This was in collaboration with the NACO, and went on for many years, where positive people, both men and women, were treated in this community AIDS hospice. And today we run an orphanage of children from affected families of the positive community, and we give them education, we look after them. All of them are orphans. So we have a center called the Cradle Ridge Center. But at the same time, social issues that concern us, gender equity, violence against women, gender-based violence, representation of women, it has been a long struggle for Naga mothers that have actually stood for Naga women for the last many years.
Okay, what is the change especially Naga Mothers Association have brought in the society?
Well, you see, today I was talking about the women reservation. Women reservation, as per the 74th Amendment of the Indian Constitution, it specifically talks about women being a part of municipal councils, urban local bodies, and having 50% reservation. For Naga women, we were actually fighting for 33% reservation then. We still haven't gone to 50. We were asking for 33. There was a lot of opposition from tribe bodies, from many of the men who did not want it, and there was also that kind of an insecurity that traditionally, because it is a very strong patriarchal family, and the presence of women have not been very visible in decision making bodies, be it the village councils. We don't have the Panchayati Raj, we have the traditional village councils. So in these traditional village councils, women are not included, and therefore they could not get into the idea that in urban local governance women should be there, and that too by reservation. It took us almost 20 years of moving the court, and finally we got a judgment from the Supreme Court last year. Elections were held, and now we have more than 100 women sitting in 38 municipalities and town councils in Nagaland. And not only that, we have 2 elected women legislators now after so many decades of the state assembly without any women. So I think we are seeing positive changes, the impact of women's collective coming together, women struggling together.
Congratulations for what you have won with all the efforts you made. Okay, you have been working with this society, especially fighting against the male dominated society. So what are the main challenges that you have to be facing with, you have to face a lot of challenges in order to make them accept the reality and accepting the women into the governance and all those things. What are the challenges, please?
Every society has to change, and even very rigid tribal societies like us, that have customary laws and traditions and all, a time will come when they will have to change. And all men are not the same. We do have very progressive Naga men who also understand the issues of having women participating in governance, and there has been a lot of resistance. We are a collective. It's not only me. We were a collective of women that fought for it. There were threats on our lives, very unpleasant situations we have come across. But in the long run, it is for the future of Naga women. It is for their daughters, their wives, and not for ourselves, And I think in the end, it has been a big victory for Naga women, because the society itself has realized that there are certain things like constitutional rights which women deserve, and no amount of excuses of customs and traditions will hold when women have access to constitutional rights. And I think that is what we proved by having women reservation in municipal councils, and also by holding the municipal elections after many years.
Especially when we talk about the women in India these days, Manipur is the state which we are not okay to forget it. The current situations in Manipur is really so very bad that even if it has made us, even the south state, it is so afraid to go out and speak out for our rights. So in this aspect, what do you say that there are many political conspiracies which are running in the state, in the Manipur state? So what did you observe when you visited, or yeah?
You see, Manipur is in a sad situation right now. As a neighboring state, we are also very concerned. We hope to see peace in the coming days, but it will not be easy. And it will not be easy because there has been too much violence, and particularly violence against women. Violence which you would not even imagine or dream of has happened in this state. And it definitely is the work of criminals. And therefore the question of whether women's access to safety, women's right to security and safety can be guaranteed by a government that sits here in Delhi or that sits down there in Manipur. I think these are very big issues for women in the region and women in the country. When you're not safe within your own home and within your own community, and you can be raped, you can be killed, you can be murdered, and I think that is what we have seen in Manipur. And any kind of excuses that are brought up cannot really excuse the kind of violations of human rights and women's rights that have happened within the state of Manipur. The coming days will be important. The Chief Minister has stepped down. If there are strong lobbies for peace, I think rebuilding of trust between the communities there, especially women meeting together. We have seen a very different role played by the Mera Paibis, the Manipur women's groups, and this is something that has shocked many of us in the women's movement, because we have struggled together for peace, and we hope in the coming days we will see changes within women themselves, who will reach out to each other for peace and to settle, because it is the women and the mothers who will have to intervene for peace. It is not our brothers, it is not our armed brothers who are going to take the first step. It is always done by women. In the region, in the northeast region, what we have seen is, as far as peace building is concerned, it is the women and the mothers who have always taken the forefront.
Since this decade, we have seen a very greater rise in the issues which are being faced by the women. So, can you please give us any suggestions, in order to protest for the women's safety and women protection?
See, we must have solidarity among women groups too, all across the country. Whenever any incident happens in any part of the country, whether it's down south, whether it's the region, whether it's central India, wherever, I think it is important for women's groups, women's rights movement to forge ourselves in solidarity so that we are able to raise our voice to governance, to the governance, to governments that are looking after us, and to states where authorities need to be, attention need to be drawn. Because unless we have this kind of solidarity, just a few voices, just women speaking in isolation is not going to really work. Because on the whole in India, if you look at violence against women, it is not only in Manipur or the states of the northeast, it is actually violence in the whole country. There's a sharp rise of sexual violence against women, in the whole country. And I think unless there is punitive measures, strong punitive measures against perpetrators, unless government takes it seriously that they will not allow this kind of violence, and unless women rise up in protest and solidarity together seeking for justice, I think we will see a repetition of so much of this, and we should not allow this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Already Naga Mothers Association is now an example for most of the parts of India to form to stay connected and fight for the rights of women. Thank you so much, ma'am.